And we now quickly move to session 3. We have 25 minutes, and I would like that 25 minutes to be spent this way. We'll spend the first 8 minutes addressing any pressing question that may have been raised by the participants for in this particular session, but also in the previous session. So about 3 or 4 questions, we'll want to tackle that. And then I'll give a microphone to Professor Mugabe, who will spend about 5 or so minutes thinking about the way forward and the next steps. And thereafter, 3 minutes each to Angela Christiana and Dr. Ann Kigiri to give closing remarks. So are there any questions that were raised from the chat, Catherine, that we can address now, either for Professor Mugabe and his team or any of the panelists that have just made presentation now? Catherine, are you there?
Yes, I'm looking through the questions, and I think the ones that haven't been addressed. I see Martin Bai here has posted a question about what practical advice or request could be given to a CEO of a major private sector technology player like Safaricom to address the challenges raised today. It was not particularly mentioned or targeted at anyone. So I don't know if we could have anybody from the panelists or maybe the person who's been talking about entrepreneurship can tell us if they have any ideas of what they would give to a CEO of a major private sector technology player to address the challenges raised today, or anybody else who feels that they can address that.
Do you want to read another one and another one so that that first one will go to Fred, Juma? Any other question that
yeah. One that was directly sent to Dave is by Tommaso saying, thanks for the presentation. That is amazing what you're doing. Where is the company based, and are you developing the AI in-house? So it's the capabilities or capacities in-house. So that's for Dave.
Okay, that's for Dave. And last.
Can I answer that or?
Yes, I'm just going to give you microphone, but let's get the last question.
Yeah.
Okay, as you synthesize them, then Dave, you can go, please. And then Fred, Juma, you could also raise the first, address the first one.
I think maybe I have questions, but I will answer the one on AI. We are based in Kisumu, Kenya. We are partnering with US-based company for the AI and the University of Iowa in Iowa, in the state of Iowa. So yes, so the idea is from us, but I will say the technological support is coming from those 2 sources. There's also, Caleb was asking, what is the level of adoption of the technologies amongst the farmers and the fish value chain? For cage fish farmers, I was just in the process of typing that response. For cage fish farmers, the level of adoption is very high because most of the farmers have high usage of smartphone technology. The mobile app is based on smartphone. And due to the level of investment, farmers in cage fish farming sector are keen to see a reduction in cost and increase in productivity for them to take home profit. So the adoption of the technology, the IoT technology and the mobile application is pretty high in the cage fish farmer sector. And any impacts on the performance, sales, profitability, and inclusiveness? Yes, one is, I mentioned that by enabling these farmers to access their high quality feeds, it has significantly contributed towards reducing their production period. And for those farmers who are doing 13 months are now doing 8 months. That's almost 40% increase in productivity. Of course, subsequently increase in profitability, because we have not only shortened the production period, but we have also reduced the cost of production because the feeds have better feed conversion ratio. Inclusiveness, exactly, yes. Right now, what we are enabling women and youth fish traders to be able to do is to access information about the available source of fish at their fingertips. And what this helps in doing is that a woman does not need to move from one beach to another in the hope that she is going to get fish, but she gets real-time information on the harvested fish and the landed fish, and she can straight away trade on that fish. That is really, really bringing inclusivity into the aquaculture sector.
Just a quick follow-up, Dave. A quick follow-up for Dave. Somebody is asking if you involve the end users in the technology development. So I'm assuming the IoT, like the sensors or whatever other technology that you deploy. How involved are the users?
Yes, we do a lot. In fact, the interesting thing is the IoT came out of my experience as a fish farmer, because I am a fish farmer myself. And so yes, I work with a pool of fish farmers too in terms of product development. The AI software that is coming out, when we roll it out, it will have a lot of what we call user experience testing. And we'll have a lot of trials with the various farmers. Actually, the idea of developing the AI has come out of the data that we've been getting out of the farmers who have been regularly using the current mobile application. So we are looking at further making the application more simpler using this AI technology for better adoption. Farmers are critical for us. We are doing everything with the farmers in mind. It's not a boardroom design.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Dave. My 6 minutes is gone. Okay. Unless Paul Lorena, you want to spend 1 minute addressing the question that was raised by my board member about what advice would you give to a technology developer? Or anybody who would want to spend 1 minute addressing that? Paul, are you there?
Technology developer, in the sense, I'm not getting it quite clear.
Catherine, do you want to read it?
Yeah, no, it was about what advice would you give to a CEO of a major private sector technology player, so not the developer, but the investor, like Safaricom, to address challenges raised today?
Oh, wow. That's quite insightful, because how do we link up software and hardware? What we have as research institutions, private sector, is data. But this data needs to be uploaded somewhere and be accessible by everybody. So if we would have the likes of Safaricom coming on board and providing a pendulum for this information flow, perfect. That will be a great synergy towards enhancing the flow of information and the growth of aquaculture in this country. Information is scarce because we are not employing all avenues, software and hardware approaches. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Then we quickly move to Professor Mugabe, who will be giving us a way forward. But even as he does that, I want him also to help us understand why the adoption of pond fishing in the lake region has been relatively lower than in those other communities within Kenya that are not traditionally fishing communities. Microphone to you, Professor Mugabe.
Thank you, Tom. I'm unable to answer that last question.
It's okay.
Yes, but I think Les or somebody answered it. Fishermen or fishers generally like waters. They don't want to be on the land. They want to explore the waters. Maybe that explains why the adoption of pond fishing is relatively low. There are a number of studies, by the way, including recent PhDs that attempt answering that question. There's one which looks at a recent PhD on evaluating the economic stimulus or stimuli program going back to 2013, and shows that a range of barriers to innovation in pond fish farming include barriers that we referred to ambiguous land tenure systems, for example, ownership of land. There are issues to do with just extension services. Farmers do not want to take risks. And from many of their experiences, those who got credit from the program were not supported to address various challenges, diseases, and so on. So some of the ponds dried. Nobody's there to help them. So there may be a range of reasons why pond fish farming has not taken root.
Actually, I just wanted to provoke us so that we see that that's another potential area for very serious socio-economic research. Otherwise, please tell us the way forward.
Yes, the way forward, Tom, and I don't have it. I don't have the way forward. A number of explorations that some of us are taking now in terms of following up on issues that have emerged from the case study. There are many problems. You can have literally hundreds of research and capacity building projects in the region. One is an idea that I'm exploring with a friend and colleague at the University of Turku in Finland, Yusuf, who is in the meeting around what we are calling sustainability-oriented innovation in Africa's natural resource sectors. Some of you may have heard of this concept of sustainability-oriented innovation, which focuses on how do you invest in innovations that address specific sustainability challenges, which is different from what we've been doing in the Strings project, where we are trying to align innovations for STI to sustainable development goals. The sustainability-oriented innovation concept, which is now established in academic literature, being deployed in policies in the developed world, focuses on how do you invest in innovations to address specific sustainability challenges. So with the University of Turku, with the youth and PhD student, we want to do some work in aquaculture, fisheries, and mining in Eastern and Southern Africa, just to explore how, first of all, how the concept of sustainability and sustainability oriented innovation in particular is being conceptualized, how people conceptualize just sustainability. We'll try to map out sustainability science and sustainability oriented innovation research in Africa and try to locate where that research is being done, research that aims at promoting innovations directed at sustainability challenges, not just research on STI. Then through case studies, and exploring various policy frameworks. We want to understand again what are the challenges in investing in sustainability-oriented research. We have slides which actually I shared with Maureen and Fiona about this, but because of time, I'm not going to present them. We are already doing some work on this with the University of Zurich. We'll be doing micro case studies. The Strings project focused on really macro case study, but we want to go to enterprises and study sustainability-oriented innovation. The second research idea, which I just got approved by my boss not long ago, which is around the political economy of innovation and natural resource policymaking in Africa. We talk about STI policy, natural resource policymaking, and we make certain assumptions. And those assumptions include that, in fact, we have organized policymaking taking place in these countries. That you go to Kenya, you find an aquaculture policymaking process where there is an agenda set all through to policy adoption. And initial work we've done in South Africa and Namibia shows that, in fact, you have all kinds of ad hoc policy events, as support policy processes, with no organized engagement of the key actors. In many cases, you have experts, the so-called experts. In many cases, you have what we are calling the tyranny of experts. People just go in there and write these policy documents, they move out, and they expect the government and the communities to implement the policies, and things are not happening. So we want to, in this project, with the number of masters and PhD students, to look at aquaculture and fisheries policies and STI policies in a number of selected countries to understand better what are the political economy factors that influence policy making. How come in many countries the transition to policy implementation is not happening? Many countries are busy with policy documents. People are writing policy documents, but you don't see much of policy implementation. And we're asking those big political economy questions. Who is missing in the policy process, or in the policy events to get policy making? So going back to our, again, during the case study, will be the two projects will be focusing a bit more on Lake Victoria Basin, Port Victoria and Busia County, doing some macro, if you want, case studies to generate knowledge and information to inform policy and hopefully improve policy-making processes. This may help institutions such as the Calestous Juma Legacy Foundation to design well-informed capacity-building initiatives supporting local actors to participate in aquaculture or fisheries policy or other development policy processes in the region. So Tom, those are just ideas. We have some resources from the University of Zurich, from University of Pretoria, and we'll be linking up with yourselves to explore these ideas further. Thank you.
Great. So thanks very much, John, for that wonderful and very, very clear next steps. And those are opportunities that we'll be very excited to explore with yourself